morning, everybody. It's Brooke with Mrs. Cog Hill Farm. And I just was eager to get to the barn. Of course, you all know why, to see Miss Tater and her baby. And I made a pit stop. I came through the pasture where I opened the gate for Nugget and Goldie to be able to come into the bigger area and the geese to come and eat some grass. So I cut through the stall where Snow White and her silky friends are. One of these silkies, you will remember, is identifying as both male and female because she does indeed crow. But we haven't heard that crow in just a bit. And here's the reason why, I'm thinking. Hey, Bramble. How are you, buddy? How are you? I got a camera in one hand and a bad arm, but we can have some, he didn't know what to think about that. I was trying to give him some kisses with my nose. I got a bug on my face, and that's not easily swattable either. But here we go, y'all. Miss Hen/Rooster over here is now attempting to sit on eggs. So, well, she's not attempting. She's full-fledged doing it. And it looks like she's got an entourage with her because these two girls are like, give me some of what you got. And old Snow White over here, she's just, well, she doesn't care. Just let me be in peace, ladies, and we'll all get along just fine. But y'all can see that she is indeed sitting on at least an egg or two, and that's just more reason for you to crow about it. Speaking of crowing, Pookie doesn't want to crow about it. She wants to neigh about it. Rambo, I'll be back to... I peeked out just in time to see that is indeed Jessie. Bramble, you almost fell. A lot of times I can't tell the difference between Jessie and Honey. Sometimes it's pretty evident, but that one I couldn't tell. So peeking out this door here, I realized that was indeed Jessie. So everybody's wanting to tell y'all good morning. If this Silky over here would crow, it would just put the icing on the cake as for what's been going on here on the farm. We are super excited that Tater has had her calf, as I am certain all of you are. So I am going to go and pay her a visit. Now, she has not brought her calf up to the area where the shelter is yet. She is keeping him in the back of the property. He's probably just, chilling out during the day and in a shady place. He is. That's where he's been residing. He'll find himself under a shade tree. Got another bug on me. So, yeah, she's out grazing around doing her thing during the day. She goes to him, she feeds him, and just carries on. So I can see how some cattle farmers, there it is again, do not even know when their cow gives birth because the cows don't bring their calves up to where the feed is necessarily, because the calves are only nursing off the mama, so the mama's feeding, and unless you see that udder go from being inflated to deflated, you're not going to know. And that's the way it is with our neighbor across the street, Mr. Butch. He continuously knows when his cows are pregnant. He knows about when they'll give birth. Matilda. He does rounds every morning and afternoon to check for those calves that have hit the ground, but sometimes they put them in places where they're not visible. And I tell you, if we had not been watching Tater like a hawk, we could have missed it ourselves. But we do know that when we found her was right after she'd given birth. She had cleaned him up, but we actually found the spot where she had him, and it was just probably 15 yards from where she was standing. Now, that video that Jason posted, he was not nursing full-fledged yet because he had not had a chance to. He was just born, and he had to get the hang of things. Tater had to get the hang of things, but things are going good. So let's go out here and see if we can't get at least Tater to come up. Well, I came out the back doors expecting to see all 3 cows out here, but it's not uncommon to see nobody here lately, and that's why we have been going to look for Tater every morning when she's not visible in the camera. Just exactly what happened the day that the calf was born. She was not visible, neither were Moody or Mildred until I got over there, and just the same this morning. Look at here. So way across there in the pine thicket, Moody's a little bit too big to hide, but I can see his backside. So I'm gonna call him and see how quick him and Mildred and Tater will come up to the backside of the barn here. Moody! Well, no response there. Animals are creatures of habit just like we are, and they get used to everybody is still sounding off. They get used to something being done at a certain time, and it just leaves them. It's pretty quick too, because we've started introducing Tater back to feed, and they still are not on their right clock knowing when their feed's coming. So we're in the process of trying to get their clock reprogrammed. Of course, Tater will get a little bit more feed, being that she's lactating, than Moody and Mildred do. But we've been speaking with the nutritionalist over at Kalmbach, and they have told us some very valuable information as to how to get Tater on the right track after being without feed for a number of months now, so she could have her calf with ease. I'm so thankful we did, because y'all could see from that video, he's a big boy. And we're going to walk down here since they're not coming for feed. We're still training. We're still getting them back in the groove of things. But she may not eat on this video, but she's going to eat, I guarantee you. All right, Dee Dee. It's already warmed up early this morning, hadn't it, girl? You think you're going to make it all the way down here to check on Tater? Come on, let's go. Come on. You know, Dee Dee's embark test, which was something that we did kind of for fun to determine what breed of dog she was, and then you could also pay a little more and find out the age of the dog. I don't know how accurate those things are. It is done by DNA, but I recently inquired to Google if I could do a test to determine a horse's accurate age, because Willie, we're just going off of, you know, a guesstimation of what the vet aged him by according to his teeth. I would love to do something that's more definitive to determine his age rather than just looking at his teeth. And I don't think that's possible, but if you guys know of anything out there that I can use and send off something to determine a more accurate age, I'd love to know about it. Because this lady here came back as 10, and I tell you, she's got it going on. Not that 10 is that old for a little dog, because they can live. I had a Yorkie mix that lived to be 21. So 10 is not that old. However, do y'all see Bramble? He's running alongside me in the pasture, going wherever I am. However, she gets along pretty good to be 10. She never shows any signs of, you know, being give out or exhausted. And that's 77 in human years, so they say. And I'm not there yet, but Dee Dee could do just as much as I can. Oh my gracious, y'all, look. So here comes the other one. They do not do this unless I'm with them. Here comes Biscuit. Tater, I see you over there, girl. I'm not gonna mess with you. We just want to know how you doing. Yeah, you couldn't help but hear my loud mouth fussing at the cats, because they are not supposed to be down here. And here, well, I couldn't let the other two go by and not show Biscuit too. Yeah, that's where you came from, and that's right where you need to go back to. I saw you running along. All right, so y'all see Tater out here. She is indeed with Moody and Mildred, and I have to look around for the calf. That's just the way it is. She's got him tucked away where she feels he's safe. I bet you $100 he's in a shady spot. And I bet you Mildred and Moody know exactly where that shady spot either is. But they aren't going to tell me. Sylvester, baby, you are not doing a good thing by coming out into the pasture. Mildred, how you like being an ant, girl? You like it? You like being an ant? I know, I got to redose you with fly spray. Still don't see the calf, but I am not going to get super close to Tater. We're still knowing that she's a new mama. I'll turn the camera around. She is a new mama, and she means business. Now, when I see this calf, I'm not going to go up to him and do all lovey-dovey stuff. I'm just going to make sure he's okay and carry on. Now, after she's adjusted a little bit, it's not going to be too late. We will start doing some training, and we may even, put Tater, if we see that she's being challenged for food and we can't get her as much as we'd like for her to, we'll make that decision too. Maybe that we need to put her somewhere differently. And like I said, cross that bridge when we get to it. Right now, our biggest concern is that she's taking care of the baby and that she knows that that baby is safe. And I'm not going to interfere with it. All right, y'all, I found him. We had this old tree to fall a few storms ago, and we had not had a chance to clean it up. And he's found himself camped out under here, and he's doing well. His belly's full, and I guarantee you, his mama's watching to make sure that I don't do anything I shouldn't. So I just wanted y'all to see that he's safe, and we're going to let him be. And like I said, he's all the way on the other side of the pasture. This is in the general area of where she had him. However, he has moved, oh goodness, a dozen times at least since she had him. And she just wants him to be in a safe place, and she's doing a wonderful, wonderful job taking care of that little fella. I knew when he first came out, when y'all saw me filming, that it had to be a boy because you could see how big he was immediately. I was going to show y'all this. So this is the area where she had him, and I know that because there were some signs that she had broke her water over here, and we did see that she had passed the afterbirth. All was good, but you see Tater, she's over here, and she's probably watching these cats because they don't normally come in here. But we're going out, girl, just as quick as we came in. We're going right back out. You're okay. And I promise y'all, the baby's latching on good, drinking good. There's been no issues there. So just know that that video that you guys saw was when he was first born. And they don't jump up and automatically latch on. So just wanted to clarify that. And I misspoke because I acted like Tater doesn't see the cats. The cats are always out in the pasture. That's nothing new. But I'm not necessarily certain that the cows see the cats out here in the pasture. Obviously the cats were panting. They normally stay right up around the barn. And what they do at night, we don't know. But we have never seen them just hanging out here with the cows. Well, now everybody knows that the new baby boy is safe. We need a name for him. I think Matilda thinks his name needs to be Moo. She's like this every morning. Even after she eats, she's still very vocal. And I think she just wants to be in our presence. We spend a lot of time with her, and obviously she can hear my voice. So she's like, Mama, come outside. But Tater's doing well, the baby's doing well, and we will continue to think of names for this little fella because, as you guys know, we're not somebody that quick to come off with a name. We kind of need to see the personality first. We kind of need to, weigh our options, and and just kind of wait it out. And of course, we want you guys' input too. I've had a lot of messages already suggesting and requesting certain names, and all those are going into consideration, and I will share those as we go. But right now, we can't tell much about him. Right now, his name would be Sleepy, because that's exactly what he is. He's a sleepy fella, and he's just doing what newborns do, and that is rest. But we'll get there when we get there, and good boy names are a must. So update on my arm, my hand, my finger. So when I went to the emergency room, they informed me that we had a orthopedic surgeon here in Chilton County, which is where we live. And I did not know that because I'm not a native here. So I was thrilled to know that there was actually a doctor that I could see here, and wouldn't, have to make multiple trips. But if it required that, of course, I would do it. So I called that office, and they told me that I needed my insurance group number. So I told them contract number. I told them that, and they called me back, and they said, upon running your insurance, we found out that you need a referral. And I said, well, that's odd, because I've never had to have a referral before. And I was questioning it, but she said, well, that's the case when I ran your contract, and you will have to have a referral before you can be seen. I said, okay, can you just please look and see when I can be seen if I have that referral? Well, our office is closed on Friday to seeing patients, so it would be into next week. Well, that was fine. So first of the week, I reached out, and she was going to put me on the appointment books, and I reached out to my doctor to get a referral. So I found out from my doctor, in order to get a referral, he needed to see me first, even though I had been to the ER. So I had to go in and see my primary care physician in order to get a referral, according to the insurance process. So I had an appointment set up to go see him with a break. Now, mind you, this is not like it's something that doesn't need to be fixed. It does need to be fixed. And so I had the appointment lined up, made arrangements to go to it. And the next day, I said to myself, something just doesn't sit right with this. I just don't understand why I need a referral. When I went to the rheumatologist, I did not need a referral. So I got on the phone myself, and I called the insurance company, and I gave them my contract number, and they said, no, ma'am, you do not need a referral. You have da-da-da policy, and it does not require a referral. And I told them what had happened, and they said, well, all we can tell you is that you don't need a referral. I said, so I can call any bone, joint, surgical center in the state and go see them with no referral? Yes, ma'am. We'll email you a list. Okay, great. So they emailed me a list, and I have my good friend Catherine, who knows a lot about medical facilities because she was indeed a nurse for many years. And her grandson recently went through a very bad break in his collarbone. So Catherine helped me to determine that there was a bone and joint clinic that was near us, and I should call them. That's who she used for her grandson. I called them, and they said, well, we could have got you in this morning, but we are through seeing patients for today, so can you come tomorrow? So indeed I did. I went the next day, and I was able to see that doctor who repeated the x-rays. He was able to see the x-rays that were taken at the emergency room and determined for himself that the break was entirely too bad for him to want to try to fix. I was going to need somebody that specialized in hands in order to make this repair, and it does need surgery. Not the outcome I was wanting at all. I was hoping that I would go into this bone and joint clinic and maybe even get a splint on my finger for this break and be on my way. Well, he looked at the x-rays, and he showed me how bad the break was. And he showed me that there are actually slivers of bone, and the break is in the shape of a V. And not only is the break in shape of a V, but it does not occur where most finger breaks happen. I'll show you with this hand, and y'all don't judge me. I can't clean this hand fingernails to the best of my ability because I only have one hand to do it with. Most breaks occur close to the joint, from what he said, and either this joint or this joint, you know, whether it be in one of the three. My break is in this joint, and it is slap in the middle of it. So that's a bit different too. He said it has to be stabilized differently, and he is sending me to a hand surgeon, which I have an appointment set up. So my next appointment will be tomorrow, and that will be with the hand surgeon. Now, I will not have surgery on Friday. I will be looked at by the hand surgeon to determine when he will do the surgery and possibly set it up for a day in the near future. But y'all, needless to say, this has been a little bump in the road, and I figured out that if I wear this sling, it helps me to prevent trying to use my hand to catch things and do things that I don't need to be doing. So my right hand's doing all the work, and I am okay with that. I'm just ready to get this taken care of and move on with my day-to-day activities. Not to say I'm not appreciative of what everybody's done to help me, because I am, but I'm a very independent person, and I want to be able to do things myself, as we probably all do. But this is a bump in the road, and it is going to require surgery, and I do just know that pins and a plate is going to fix this up right the first time, to where we won't have to go back in there later and hopefully do it again. I want the right thing to be done initially, and that's what needs to be done. So once again, I will update when I know more, but I will not know more until after my appointment, which is Friday, and I will hopefully have a surgery date set up sooner than later. I did Google my surgeon, and I asked Google, what day does this surgeon do surgery on? I came up with no answers. Most of the time, surgeons do surgery like the bone and joint doctor I saw. He said, I would want to get this done as soon as possible. So I think he's going to want to get you in on his first surgery rotation if possible. So, yeah, we're going to be going into a couple of weeks since this happened, and of course, my hand wants it fixed sooner than possible, too. But they're all doing the best they can, and that's all anybody can ask for. So I'm hanging in there, and I hope y'all do, too, with whatever you got going on. Tater's hanging in there, and she's so happy to have that bun out of her oven that's been cooking for so long, it seems. If I'm not mistaken, Tater came here on November the 1st, if that's correct. That would mean May the 1st, she would have been here for 7 months. So if she was only a couple of months pregnant when she got here, who would have thunk she could have been 7 months here with a baby? And many of those months we had no idea. So, yeah. Excuse me for doing a little slow math there, but I just had to get it in my head as to how long she'd been here and how long she'd been carrying. Of course, she's been carrying it 9 months. That's how long a cow's pregnant. So, anyway, Dee Dee and I are going to head back to the house. We've got everything taken care of here except for feeding the cows. And I'll continue to watch the camera and see when they come up and get them fed and taken care of, just like everybody else. And I appreciate y'all all reaching out to me saying you hope I have a quick recovery. I hope that too. I really do. I hope it's a quick, pain-free recovery. And like I said, I'll update you when I can. And y'all don't forget to click that like, comment, and subscribe, and y'all be good.